This is the brand new Maserati Ghibli Hybrid. It is, of course, the Italian marque's first attempt at full electrification, technically with a 2-liter engine under the bonnet, which produces 330 horsepower at 5,750 RPM, and it will take you 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds. With a rather conservative 2-liter engine and 330 brake horsepower, it might not come across as the most sporty car of the Maserati range. However, it is, of course, a mild hybrid technically, and what that means is it's aided by a 48-volt alternator and an e-booster, which saves fuel, and it aids acceleration. Now, the way you know this is a hybrid, apart from the distinct styling at the rear, which we'll get to, there is an abundance of blue around the car, these 3 vents over here, the brake calipers, and the detailed blue stitching in the interior. But I'm not going to talk forever. Let's get inside the car and have a look at what it looks like in the interior. And of course, let's take it for a little ride. Well, as you can see, I've magically changed into another shirt. Of course, it is another day, nice and early on a Saturday morning. So I thought I'd take the Maserati Ghibli Hybrid for a little drive to see how this machine compares to the regular combustion engine Maserati Ghibli. Now, I have to be honest, once you get in, the car is pretty similar, except for the interior, which feels a lot more fresh and a lot more recent. But it is only when you kind of get behind the wheel and start driving, that's when you notice the difference. Now, of course, under the bonnet, there is a rather small 2-liter 4-cylinder 330 brake horsepower. Well, the brake horsepower is a little, but the rest of the engine is quite modest. So immediately you might think, oh, you know, this isn't really gonna be a fast car. And I'm not gonna lie, it isn't a real fast car, but it is decent for a 4-door saloon, a nice, comfortable saloon, and you can actually get a fair bit of performance out of it. If you press this button here, the sport button, suddenly the exhaust, the reconfigured exhaust is rather nice, and it does give you that Maserati roar. Now, in terms of performance, it isn't the most mind-blowing of Maseratis, but it is there. I mean, performance is there. It's 330 brake with that e-booster. You know, the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is 5.7 seconds. So it is not a slow car, especially when you put it into sport, put it into manual, kind of downshift, and then give it some. You definitely get that roar, that Maserati roar at the back in the exhaust. Now, driving the car, of course, is extremely comfortable. You have all the mod comms you would want in here. Everything on from the exterior to soft closing doors to heated and cooled seats. A lovely infotainment system that's a lot more responsive and a lot more intuitive than they used to be, and quite big, between 8 and 10 inches, really, depending on the option that you take. Everything works perfectly well. That really is about it. About the interior, it's just a combination of nice, fine leather, high quality kind of buttons, and the feel in here is very, very premium indeed.